cards to encourage them to show up in court. Brian?
All right, thanks, Ainsley. Conan, the heroic dog who helped take down ISIS's leader, al-Baghdadi, is set to return to the U.S. this week for a visit to the White House. And despite the fact that military working dogs are not eligible, veterans are now calling for the canine who was injured in the raid to receive the Purple Heart. For example, here to discuss it, our veteran panel itself, our retired Army Lieutenant Colonel and Purple Heart recipient, Dr. Daniel Gade, candidate for the U.S. Senate in Virginia, former intelligence officer who serves in Iraq, Don Bramer, and former Army Ranger Miles Grantham. Miles, let's start with you. Yes or no? Should he?
Yes, I firmly believe that.
Why?
This is a relationship between the men and the dog. The dog is part of the team. Already, if you go in, I know 75th Ranger Regiment, when the dogs expire, when they die overseas in combat, they're memorialized right next to the Rangers that have passed on as well. And I think this would just be a official, and I think the guys I've talked to who are still in, and guys are outside, they are all for this.
Wow, interesting. Don, for you, you really, this strikes home because you are a recipient of one of the hero dogs who lost his handler downrange. So are you also in the category of yes?
Brian, good morning. Absolutely. These dogs, as Miles said, they're part of the team. They're heroes, and oftentimes, you know, they save so many lives, and they should be treated and honored with the same respect as the troops that they work with, because without them, there would be a lot more casualties.
Daniel, you are a Purple Heart recipient. You believe you have a message for the president, right?
I do have a message for the president. Mr. President, if you're watching this morning, I brought one of my own Purple Hearts to present to the dog if you'd like me to do so, or if you'd like me to get this to you, I can. Look, these dogs are heroic, and they are part of a heroic mission, and so absolutely, if they're wounded in action, I think that it's totally fine to present a Purple Heart, and you know, the handler will have that as something that he can have forever. The dog obviously doesn't care, but they're a heroic part of the team, and we should honor them, for sure.
Miles, what about the men or women who train the dogs? I mean, they're the ones who put them in the position to be heroes.
Yeah, they have that special relationship. They also believe as well that they should be honored. They're already honored at their units if they do pass on, or if they are injured. And again, this is just something that everybody's for, and it should have been done a long time ago.
Don, is this an exceptional dog, or is this more of what they're normally like out in battle?
No, these dogs, each one is so unique, and you know, I mean, each one of them has their own characteristics, just like the soldiers and Marines that they work with. They have a personality. So, you know, treat this dog as the hero that he is. And you know, there's been a precedence. We've given medals and recognition to dogs before, so why we're not doing it now is something that we should consider.
Right, and Daniel, finally. They were kind of mocking the president because he retweeted a picture of a medal going around a dog's neck and took it from another honor recipient. What's your take on that?
Well, I just think it's ridiculous. It's just more of an attack on the president, and that's the wrong approach. Look, these dogs are heroic. The president's instincts are right, and right on the Purple Heart medal it says the President of the United States. So if the White House says, or if the Pentagon says that he can't do it, guess what? He's the president, and I think he can and should do it. So absolutely, yes.
George Washington's idea, and I think it was a good one, the whole Purple Heart thing. And I definitely salute those who serve. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate